Here we are in Brainerd, Minnesota. Actually, sort of downtown Brainerd. Downtown Brainerd's right there. And there's the tower. What kind of tower is that?
It's a historic water tower.
Historic water tower. They're putting a new roof on it or something, apparently. Look at the size of that crane. That's a big crane. I want to drive something like that. I'd like to have something like that. Candy would never go for it though. Would you?
No. Oh, doggy.
Oh, doggy. It's a wolf.
No.
It looks like a wolf. Look at that.
Like a Malamute mix. Hope we don't get hit.
It's about the size of a wolf.
Yep.
That may have been a wolf.
It ain't no wolf.
Maybe. Did kind of look like it had a collar on it. Alright, the reason I'm in Brainerd today is because I'm going to go into the industrial area and scrounge around the back parking lots for any scrap metal that they're recycling, throwing out, that kind of thing. See if I can get it on the cheap, if not for free. I really need some angle iron, any kind of angle iron. I went through all the Zoo Wagon angle iron, so pretty much everything you build these days, you got to have angle iron for it. Even though the last build I made, the little strong box, I didn't use any in that. But it just sometimes makes a project go easier if you got an angle iron frame on it. So if I can find some, great. If not, we'll make do with whatever we can find. This will be the first time I use this wheelbarrow in 2 years. I did get some steel, and I got all this steel scrounging for $30, which I think is a bargain. Let me show you. See that? Got that. Here's some pretty beefy steel here, and this is all scraps. Obviously it's scraps. You can tell it's because it's so small. I'm gonna try to make something, I think, with these. Oh, the fishing poles. Let me tell you about that. And I checked all of these fishing poles. They all work. There's only one thing wrong with them. They're dirty. That's it. That's the only thing wrong with them. They're just dirty. Because they've been sitting around someone's garage or something for a very long time. By and large, other than being dirty and crusty from sitting a while, most of them look brand new. They just, people upgraded or just never used them or bought them for a family member or was going to have a company and bought some poles for the company and then never used them or used them once. But these are really good poles and really good reels. This isn't junk. This isn't crap. And I picked all of these up, 5 of them, for 16 bucks total for everything. 16 bucks. They just need oiled and cleaned up. And the reason that I got these was to give them away, fix them up and give them away. Now, I bought some really cheap fishing poles, not cheap, but some used fishing poles before, and I ended up giving them away to somebody that needed them while I was camping. And they were so happy to get those fishing poles that it made me feel good. I was like, yeah, you know, I may not ever be able to duplicate that again, ever. But I think I'm going to keep trying for a while until it's just no fun anymore. But yeah, I get these pretty, like I said, $16 for 5 fishing poles. I'll clean them up best I can and oil them up, put some new line on them, a token lure, and then I'll give them to somebody that needs them while I'm out camping in the spring, summer, and fall. That's the plan anyway. So a very little investment, and the feel-good moment is forever. Even if it's only in my mind, it's worth it. So the way to tell that these poles haven't been used hardly at all, if ever, is the line on it feels so crusty and so weathered. Yeah, you can tell. No one's going to catch a fish with this line on here. So the line has to come off. And we won't worry about restringing them until the spring. And then I'll just buy some Zebco line from Walmart or something that's really not that expensive, but better than no line at all, right? And we'll give them to somebody who needs a fishing pole. See, that just needs oiled up. Works just fine. Although it is a spin casting rod on a bait cast, or spin casting reel on a bait casting rod. That's okay. We'll change that up. See here, you can tell this fishing pole, it's just dusty. It's just dirty, it's grimy. The fishing line had, let's just say this fishing pole, whoa, look at that wind. Hasn't been used in many, many years. And coming from a guy that fishes every year, yeah, I consider myself an expert at that. I would never let one of my reels get like this, ever. That's what happens when you live in a disposable society. I don't think I would give away, well, I would take, but I wouldn't give away a broken fishing reel or pole unless the guy knew ahead of time that it was broken. I wouldn't pass it off as a workable one unless I know it worked. So look how nice these are looking. All they needed was cleaned up. There's nothing wrong with these. So I got these by going to secondhand stores. That's where I get most of, well, I shouldn't say that. I get most of them yard sales, honestly. But I get a lot of them from secondhand stores in the wintertime. If I see them, for example, like I saw these at a secondhand store, and you could see, it appears that one person brought them all in and just, here, take it, you know. And they sold them cheap. And the reason they sold them cheap is because they want to get them out of the store, right? Make more room for other crap, right? I mean, that's the reason you have a yard sale in the first place, to get rid of crap, right? Not necessarily to make money, but to help somebody out and make a little money doing it with stuff you no longer need or want. And there is nothing wrong with this fishing pole. And somebody, someday, somewhere, will get this and catch a lot of fish with it. Or hopefully catch a lot of fish with it, right? So while we was out scrounging steel, we stopped at secondhand stores just to look. We don't go that often, but when we do, it seems like we're always glad we did in the end. Not always, but most of the time, it's a good experience if you can pick up something like this for next to nothing. I mean, everything these days is through the roof expensive. I mean, how much would just this cost now? I don't know. But they're very functional. Better than a stick and a string. So it is definitely the silly season. No doubt about that. There's political signs up everywhere. Even in rural Brainerd. This is a passionate year, guys. Really passionate year for everybody, I think. Including you. Yeah, you, even though you may not know it. But people are pretty passionate this year. I see political signs I've never seen up before, ever. There's people voting now that I'd have said there's no way that person would ever vote. You know the type. Yeah, the one that just sits around and complains, and then you said, well, who'd you vote for? They go, well, I don't vote, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that. Those guys now got political signs in their yard. It's true. And of course, being in the, you know, it's the season, it's like everything is Republican now. Look at that. Isn't that nice? That is a nice fishing pole and reel right there. Really nice. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. A lot of people are voting Republican this year, you know, and the Republican Party is, in my opinion, they're like, if you compare them like the NFL, compare them to like an NFL team. I would say they're like the Cleveland Browns. You know, they suck, but they do just enough every year to keep you coming back. That's what they do. Okay, our quarterback sucks. Let's go get another big name quarterback, and then he's gonna suck. You're gonna come to the games though, because you're optimistic that they might do good this year, and they never do. But you keep coming back because you always have that hope that someday they'll do something right, and they'll win it all. That's what that's. I always think the NFL is rigged anyway. I don't watch it, you know, but I get really bored sometimes, and it just happens to be on, so I'll pay attention to it. But yeah, I would compare the Republican Party to the Cleveland Browns. They do and say just enough to keep you coming back in hopes that they'll do something right someday. Yeah. Like the Browns, you know, the Republican Party's still waiting. Isn't that nice? That's really nice. Now this is a spin casting reel. So we'll switch this out. with this one. Because these enclosed reels like this are basically bait casting reels. They're cheaters, you know, they're easier bait casting reels. Instead of putting your finger on the string like you would a real bait casting reel, you push your finger on the button. Yep, pretty much. So let's switch this out. I assure you, whatever fish that you were trying to catch with this line would get away. 100% guaranteed. This stuff is so brittle. And like I said, that's the way to tell, you know, if the pole and the reel is probably good and they just upgraded their gear. See how nice that cleans up? It was all clicky, and that's all it needed was oiled down and cleaned up. So we'll switch these around. See, this says Zebco on it, and this is a Shakespeare reel. So this is a Zebco type reel, which is also a Shakespeare. So it probably went on that other one. See that? They match. Everything matches on this. That's the way it should look. And that's another way you know that one person brought all these in. Oh, this? It's nothing. Just a little something I picked up. Nothing for you to worry about. Yeah, catches a lot of fish though. Usually the best way to tell if you have a bait casting rod versus a spin casting rod is the bait casting rods, not all, but generally have what I call a trigger on them. They got a little finger trigger thing right here. And your spin casting ones don't. You put your finger around the reel itself like that, if you're so inclined to. But yeah, these, looks like this goes together. So that took all of about a half an hour. Let's have a look. Now, even in the cost of fuel, and as far out as I live, and that big gas guzzling diesel right there, it's still cost effective for me to only spend $30 for all of this. It's worth the trip is what I'm saying. Got a little smudge there. Now, would you say these are worth $16? Yeah, buddy. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, lunchtime. What'd you make here, honey?
Broccoli cheddar soup.
Will you look at that? Broccoli cheddar. Oh, yeah. I got me a farm wife. She don't mess around. She cooks every single day. I never have to fend for myself. You know, she made this side dish for me. It's bacon and croutons. But while I was waiting for the soup to heat up, I ate half of it. So, yeah, there's that. So I noticed that she's got a big bowl of carrots here. And I was on my way out to the metal shop, and I thought I'd give you guys a glimpse into farm wife, my beautiful farm wife's world. Hi, honey.
Hello.
I see you got another gadget here.
Oh, I've had that forever.
Yeah, you got some carrots there, and look at all this stuff you got spread out. Guys, when the revolution comes, you better have a woman like this. This I can tell you.
Well, these carrots, a friend gave them to me for my rabbits. End of season carrots, and I looked at them, I said, no, they're ours. They actually taste pretty good too. So just cut them up. I'm gonna do a raw pack, which means you put them raw in the jars, put some hot water, some salt, depending on if it's a pint or quart. And then I like to add salt to the vegetables. They just taste better when you open them up. And put them in stews or soups or just eat them as a side dish. But water's heated up, just gonna use that. And I'm using my Presto Electric. I have full confidence in it, and it's kind of nice just to not have to worry about getting out my big old canners.
So you're canning food for us for the winter, just in case. Have we got enough to get us by at least until the next gardening season?
I would hope so.
So you think you've canned enough?
Well, no, I'll can beans, and I'll can chicken and stock throughout the winter.
I feel like a investigative reporter here. Do you? So you pretty much can everything that we eat all winter long.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't like to grocery shop for vegetables, and we don't eat much fruit, so we just kind of like to provide that stuff for our consumption ourselves because we know what's in it. It's not poisonous. No chemicals, and my friend that I got these from is more organic than I am. I'm more of a natural gardener, so it's always just nice to know where your meat and your vegetables come from.
Okay. Ah, back to the shop. All Christmassy. There was one guy that really hated the fact that I put up Christmas decorations all year in my metal shop. And he very quickly, when he found that out, unsubscribed from my channel. And he was so offended that he left a comment to everybody, not me, to everybody else that was watching, that they should be offended too, because he didn't mind trans people, gay people, Homo sapien, any other kind of people, but the one thing, and he made sure that you all know this. Actually, you won't know that because I deleted the comment. But he wanted to let everybody know that he's very tolerant of everything. I wonder if these are like the same. Oh yeah. Everything except for Christmas decorations in October. I was taught a very valuable lesson by this anonymous commenter. Very valuable lesson. October is a time for witches and warlocks and crap like that. Yeah, not Christmas. So I got my priorities all screwed up, I guess. So, yeah, I'm going to have to ponder that. Okay, I pondered it. I like Christmas. I like Christmas decorations, and they're going to stay. There, I pondered it. Now, I got one less subscriber. All right, guys. I think we'll end it there. It's a good hangout. I had a good time today. May had some pretty good deals. $30 for all this. We're going to make something badass. We're going to make something awesome. And no, I'm not really complaining about these types of comments. He was respectful. He wasn't like a real douche or anything. You know, he wasn't like, you suck or anything like that. There was no cursing or nothing like that. It's every once in a while I get a comment like that. And it just kind of makes my day, because when you really think about it, it's, in my opinion, it's kind of comical. You know, somebody, the very, very tolerant left is very tolerant about everything except Christmas in October. So, yeah, I don't know. To each his own, though. And we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm going to do some ciphering now. God bless you all.